everybody. Welcome to Depot TV. We're glad you joined us here again on a Sunday night at 7 p.m., either on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. We really like making Depot TV. We like finding a light place, some place to enjoy and celebrate art, music, poetry, literature, giggles, an interview, getting to know your neighbors. We know it's hard out there right now. We are nearing the end of a pandemic. We have a lot of divisions going on in our community. There are problems that need fixing. We don't ignore it all. We see it. We applaud those of you out there that are helping make it all better. And for here, our job is to give you a place maybe for an hour where you can put it all down and smile. Smile, giggle, feel, look, listen. And we're really glad you're here. We respect your time and we hope we make it worthwhile. We're so glad you're here tonight. We've got Jared Deck. He and his lovely family moved to Norman, Oklahoma a few years ago. He is a fantastic musician, and we're excited to bring you his music tonight, along with an interview getting to know him a little better, as well as me getting a chance to ask him about running for office, which I find fascinating for a musician. But hey, if it were up to me, I'd turn the whole world over to the creatives. It would definitely be more interesting. We also have with us the poetry of Ken Hada, author, poet, and professor at East Central University in Ada, Oklahoma. He sent us a poem to share with us tonight, and we're excited about that. We also get to introduce you to the art of light-hearted. Our Depot Gallery is one of our most beloved programs. We get the opportunity to represent several extraordinarily talented Oklahoma artists and bring you their works on our website at normandepot.org or in person in our gallery. And since we didn't have any events going on for the next couple of months, we decided to get a little different with it. You've got fine art in the shape of masks, lizards, monkeys, remix art, graphic arts, and hot dogs, and some teeny tiny little paintings. We've got the art of Joshua Boydston, Jeff Littlejohn, Leon Richmond, Jennifer Robertson, Gabby Rolla-Danley, Don Schooler, and Galadriel Thompson. And they're all spectacular. Tonight, we get to interview Galadriel and find out about how she got started making hot dog art. It's fantastic. I'm in love with them. I want the entire series. But now let's start things off with a little bit of community content. We had a viewer who, when we said, show us what you've been doing to be creative during the pandemic, sent us a music video. Let's have a peek at it. Everybody, this one is from Michael Kreider. Enjoy Depot TV.
I haven't felt this way since I don't know when, and I can't wait till I can see you again. Thought love was make-believe, I thought it was pretend. Now I got something that I never wanted in, and baby, don't you, baby, don't you wanna do it all again? Baby, won't you, baby, won't you make me feel that way again? Won't you make me feel that way again? I didn't know that there were shooting stars tonight. I can see forever when I'm looking through your eyes. When I'm beside you, baby, everything's alright. This is where I wanna be every single night. And baby, don't you, baby, don't you wanna do it all again? And baby, won't you, baby, won't you make me feel that way again? Won't you make me feel that way again? And it's a feeling that I always wanna stay. Why don't you stay right here and never go can't let you go when you look at me that way. And baby, don't you, baby, don't you wanna do it all again? And baby, won't you, baby, won't you make me feel that way again? Won't you make me feel that way again? I wanna do it again, 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 wanna do it again, I wanna do it again, wanna do it again, I wanna do it again, wanna do it again, I wanna do it again, I wanna do it again.
This is a brand new song of mine. It's called The American Way. I left Miami, age of 16. Headed out west where the cotton fields gleam. Not enough dollars to earn in this 10-hour day. Not enough dollars to learn. It's the American way. Blue-collar boy meets a yellow-haired girl. Promised her a life filled with children and pearls. Got no money, got no ring, but I got my pride. Hang on, honey, buckle up for a hell of a ride. Scratching at the surface every night we pray for a job that covers babies and a boss that pays. Honey, I know it's a long shot, how heavy it weighs. Everybody knows it's all we got, it's the American way. Two kids in and 3 jobs down. I lost another in a stock shakedown. They march us in and they march us out. Nobody gives a damn what happens now. My buddy's got an extra iron in the fire. Says he's got me a spot if I can handle 4 tires. Running road for the doctor on the back highway. Running home, there's a doctor and a baby on the way. Scratching at the surface every night we pray for a job that covers babies and a boss that pays. Honey, I know it's a long shot, how heavy it weighs. Everybody knows it's all we got, it's the American way. The heat burns brightest half as long. The heat of the night is a singing my song. Sold the car and a farm for my family's sake. Sold my soul and a suitcase of crystal and cake. Got bagged up on the old state road, just another black man with a broken jawbone. They said the public defender's on vacation today, but if you sign on the line, we'll keep you out of the grave. Scratching at the surface every night we pray for a job that covers babies and a boss that pays. Honey, I know it's a long shot, how heavy it weighs. Everybody knows it's all we got, it's the American way. Scratching at the surface every night we pray for a job that covers babies and a boss that pays. Honey, I know it's a long shot, how heavy it weighs. Everybody knows it's all we got, it's the American way. Honey, I know it's a long shot, how heavy it weighs. Everybody knows it's all we got, it's the American way. Everybody knows it's all we got, it's the American way. Everybody knows we're all we've got, it's the American way. This is a song off my second record, Bully Pulpit. It's called Tulsa Sound. Daddy made munitions, they used to win the war. Daddy gave his left hand to an Oric floor. East side of the river, wrong side of the track. Daddy left for a new job, yeah, he never came back. And so I closed that door. Well, I've heard it all before, 'cause I was born in Tulsa, I was raised in Canes, singing after midnight, riding with Baby Jane. Watch the Admiral at sunset, burning to the ground, listening for the sound. Mama worked the laundry for a man up on the hill. Mama gave her virtue just to pay our bills. North side of the highway, back side of her head. Mama taught the lessons and made me a man. And so I closed that door. Yeah, I heard it all before, 'cause I was born in Tulsa, I was raised in Canes, singing after midnight, riding with Baby Jane. Watch the Admiral at sunset, burning to the ground, listening for the sound. Yeah, that Tulsa sound. Daylight in the trenches, nighttime on a stage, hanging on to verses, songs twice my age. Downtown ain't a long way, but it's a long way down the road, trying to find the outside, just to try to find gold. And so I close that door. Well, I heard it all before, 'cause I was born in Tulsa, I was raised in Canes, singing after midnight, riding with Baby Jane. Watch the Admiral at sunset, burning to the ground, listening for the sound. Yeah, that Tulsa sound. Yeah, that Tulsa sound.
Hi, guys. It's me, Sherry. And guess what this is? It's a commercial. Actually, it's a commercial for commercials. We have time on Depot TV in space, and we need some partners to help support Depot TV and keep it going. But you know what we got? We got this platform and audiences every week. And if you sell a thing or provide a service or just want to support us and say thanks, or if you have a shout out or something you want people to know about, you could become a partner in the Depot and have some commercial time of your very own. So give us a call at 405-307-9320 or email us at office@normandepot.org and find out how this commercial space could be your commercial space. Thanks. everybody. Welcome to Depot TV. We are so happy to have with us tonight our musical guest, Jared Deck. Welcome, Jared.
Hi, thanks, Sherry. Thanks for having me.
So happy to have you here. We were talking before we started the interview. The first time I got to hear you sing, you came to sing with Kyle Reed and Terry Ware's house band they put together at the end of Summer Breeze for Homegrown Volume 1 in 2019. And we all said, who's that guy? We need that guy to sing more for us. So I have to ask, you're fairly new to Norman. Where are you from?
I'm born and raised in Thomas, Oklahoma, which is northeast Custer County, out in the Weatherford area. And my partner and I were both born and raised out there. And, spent most of our lives, in our home area. And, we grew up there. I went to college out there. And then we eventually found each other a long way around and owned a couple businesses. And then when she got the opportunity here at the University of Oklahoma, we pretty much gave up everything we'd ever known and decided to take the risk and move to Norman. It has been it's been the home we never knew we needed.
Awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. I like it when people find Norman home. So you owned a couple of businesses. You met your wife. You went to school out there. Where did music start for you?
Oh, yeah. Music was, it was from the get-go, right? Okay. My mother is a musician. She was she was a music major, and she taught music in public schools, and of course played at church, and that's where I got my start. When I was 4 or 5 years old, I started begging my mother to let me take piano lessons. As any true child of the 50s and 60s, she was hesitant, to be honest, because she didn't want to force me into it. But I started when I was 6. I started taking lessons, and then just kind of never looked back.
When did you pick up a guitar?
Now, that wasn't until college.
Okay. College, guitars are much more portable. You can take them places, and pianos stick around.
Yeah. And in my hometown, honestly, I rarely even saw a guitar.
Really?
Yeah. It was pretty uncommon. So you get to college, and suddenly everyone's got one in the dorm, and you want one too. And as you said, you can carry it. It's portable.
You take it with you. Yeah. And did songwriting come naturally as a part of that? Was it something you were doing before with the piano?
No, not really. I started writing songs in college. I started out as quite literally the world's worst songwriter. I wrote some of every now and then I find those notebooks, and I just pray that no one ever finds them.
I have some of those notebooks myself. Yeah.
They're pretty embarrassing. But unfortunately, I have this characteristic about my personality where, unfortunately, failure doesn't seem to faze me. So I just keep failing until I fail a little less.
I love that. Oh, I love that. Until I fail a little less. Okay. I like that.
And as a songwriter, that's for sure. So it took me, a long time to get where, I thought I was pretty decent. Right. And then it's the great thing about art is every new discovery, every new creation every new creation is a new discovery. It's the best thing you've ever done. And, that's my goal, is for the next song that I write to be the best thing I've ever done.
Nice. And I think you're absolutely right. When you're creating something, that discovery of creating something new, or when you find something, or when something really fits together, whether it's a visual art or a hook that really fits with right before a chorus, or something else that you put together, it all just goes, it's all very wonderful, and you fall in love with it a little bit, and then you put it down, and you might hate it a couple of weeks later, and you tweak it and you love it again. And I love the relationship you can have with the art you create.
Yes.
So recording, when did you start to record a song?
Oh, let's see. I got my first band there towards the end of college. I was 22, I think, nearly 23 when I joined my first band.
Wow.
Which, for a lot of, it turns out that's pretty old. I didn't realize that at the time. And we would record some in the band room at the university, and just sort of room recordings, and then and we would experiment a little bit. One of our members wanted to start a studio, so we experimented a lot. And then you get out of that band, you join the next band that you think is going to do something, and that was kind of the first band where I wrote all the songs, or the majority of the songs anyway.
Nice.
And arranged a lot of it. And we got in the studio and we made a 14-song record, which was about 7 songs too long. Again, it goes back to the choices we make in our youth. But started that, and then that band, we recorded a little bit after that record, and then you move on to your next group and your next act, and had a new sound, and that group made 2 records and an EP, and that's kind of, I think, I guess in a sense I'm proud of all of the music I've made, because to me it's a growth pattern, growth process. It's evidence that I have improved over time. And then after my last band, I ventured out on my own, started going out underneath my own name, playing solo a lot, and taking on more of that singer-songwriter role. And that's the act that you have today, which is me. That's my name.
Is you, yeah. And you've got a really lovely, powerful voice, a command of the songs that you sing. I really enjoy listening to you sing and play, and we're going to get to hear a little of that later. But before I let you go, there's something you've got going on in your life that I find just fascinating. For somebody who's, a family man, you've been living in Norman for a couple of years now. Is that about
several
right?
Years. Yeah, several
years now. Yeah, living for several years now. And you're running for office.
Yeah.
So tell me about your history working with and around politics, and what brought you to the decision that you would like to run for office in Oklahoma.
Yeah, sure. It's an interesting story. In 2007, I was working in a factory just outside of Weatherford, and I'd been out there a few years, and I got off a 12-hour shift at 7 a.m. and we all got a little piece of paper that said, "Be back at 9:30 for a plant-wide meeting." Of course, 9:30 typically in the morning would be bedtime for me, but we all went to the coffee shop and speculated and went back in for the plant-wide, and that's where we learned that we would all eventually be losing our jobs to overseas facilities. And it was a moment like, it's the kind of moment you see on TV, right? You don't think it's ever going to happen here and to anyone and then here you are in the moment where it's yourself and 275 of your coworkers all getting this life-changing news at the same time. And I was very lucky, very privileged to be as young as I was at the time. A lot of my friends had made careers out there at the plant, and 20, 30 years, and had a very difficult time trying to transition out of a non-oil filled industry into, a local economy that's primarily oil filled. So, that was kind of a changing point for me. It was whenever I realized that, I don't know, I'd had struggles along the way, but it was definitely a defining moment where I realized that problems don't belong to other people. Problems belong to me. Even if they're happening not to me, but to my neighbor, the problems belong to me. Right. And that was kind of the tipping point for me that got me involved in politics. I actually ran for office before in 2008, right after that.
I didn't know that.
I did, and lost. I always say I'm the best kind of politician, the kind that loses. But it was just a life-altering experience. You're going around, you're talking to other individuals, other families, and you're hearing their stories, and you realize what's the changes that are needed in our society. And even though I lost, I stayed involved. It's sort of been my music is actually my go-to job nowadays, and my side hustle has been politics, right?
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, my passion project. And over the years, I've got to be involved in some very, very cool things, in public service. Now I get to serve on the boards for some very wonderful nonprofit organizations. And then this past year, I was the director of one of the largest vote by mail programs in Oklahoma history. And
very nice.
Looking over the past year at just the utter mishandling, in my opinion, of the pandemic response, the pandemic has really, exposed these fatal flaws in our economy, our infrastructure, our food and shelter security, and in state leadership. And for me, again, it was a tipping point where I saw that we need serious people who appreciate science and compassion, and who value human interest over special interest. And for me, it's just a moment that I believe we need individuals who will answer the call.
I think that's wonderful. I applaud your willingness to step in, because it's not an easy space. We are divided in so many ways right now. And most of all, interestingly, because I think sometimes if we could cut to the core, we'll find that those problems that you talk about, from losing a job that's devastating, or losing 270 jobs is devastating to a community, to the issues that are facing cities, rural areas, will find some commonality in the fact that a lot of the cracks in our system have been revealed over the last year. They don't work necessarily for all of the people all of the time. And I don't know what you feel, and maybe I'll just ask you. I feel really hopeful right now, only because when there's cracks in the system, you get an opportunity to fill them in with something different or better. You get a chance to make some change. So now that we've seen all of these problems that you spoke about, we have an opportunity to step in. Is that your take? Do you feel hopeful about where we are? Do you feel like we're in an uphill battle right now?
Well, I feel very fortunate and privileged to live in Norman, where we have a community of individuals who are willing to come together as a community. And I think we saw it just in the past couple of weeks in our response to the winter snowstorm that we had here in town.
Absolutely, wasn't that amazing?
Yes, I mean we have neighbors without homes, who needed shelter, and they needed food, and our community responded in several ways. Now, I think we still have work to be done, absolutely, and we probably always will. But I feel very fortunate because, and when you look at our state as a whole, and the problems that we're facing as a whole, right now we have over 100,000 renter-occupied households in Oklahoma. That are somewhere around $5,000 behind on rent and utilities. And when we look at that disparity, at that inequality, and at the lack of equity, this is not a task that I can take on by myself. It's going to require entire communities coming together, forming coalitions, and doing the work on the ground to make a tangible benefit for our neighbors.
Absolutely.
I talk a lot about not talking. I grow weary of hearing someone say they care while they refuse to do something tangible that shows they care. And it's with that weariness that I am trying to use as fuel to make sure that I wake up every day with that goal in mind, that the difference that I'm making is not merely an emotional one, but a concrete difference that helps someone get through their day.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I wish you luck.
Thank you.
I absolutely wish you luck. I appreciate your effort. I appreciate your heart and your passion for not just the community you came from, but the community you've adopted. And I'm so glad that you're here with us tonight. I'm going to be quiet and get out of the way, and everybody stick around for a few minutes, and you're going to hear some more music from Jared Deck. Jared, thanks for being here with us.
Sherry, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Bye. Hi, guys. It's me, Sherry. And guess what this is? It's a commercial. Actually, it's a commercial for commercials. We have time on Depot TV in space, and we need some partners to help support Depot TV and keep it going. But you know what we got? We got this platform and audiences every week. And if you sell a thing or provide a service or just want to support us and say thanks, or if you have a shout out or something you want people to know about, you could become a partner in the Depot and have some commercial time of your very own. So give us a call at 405-307-9320 or email us at office@normandepot.org and find out how this commercial space could be your commercial space. Thanks. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being with us today. Today, we have with us an artist from the new show at the Depot that's running through March and April called Lighthearted. We've got several artists bringing us really whimsical, wonderful, weird, happy creations. And with us today is Galadriel Thompson. Hi, Galadriel.
Hello, Sherry.
How are you today?
Today I'm okay.
Today. Yeah. It's
At this moment.
Day.
Yeah, it's a day by day, sort of moment by moment time. But I'm well.
Well, when I was doing the intro for Depot TV earlier, I was thinking about saying, hi, welcome back to Depot TV. I think it's been 2 years, 2 months since we've been together because it's long. All the days are long. Yeah.
It's very long.
And to make them more fun, you have been making wieners and hot dogs.
Yes.
And I love them so much. How did you get started doing this particular series of work? Like, where did that come from?
So to be clear, I'm not making actual edible hot dogs and wieners.
That's true. You should make sure the audience knows that.
I'm drawing hot dogs and wieners with faces in a world that it's developing as I build it. And why hot dogs? How candid can I be?
What? Oh, go right ahead.
Okay. I know everybody, I think a lot of people do think there's probably like some Freudian thing going on with the hot dog, with the wieners. Right. And there's literally none of that. It's a familiar shape.
Right.
It's an inherently funny item. It's a tube of meat, right? and it's pink, and it's just inherently funny to me. And it's nostalgic, and it, like, when I think about a hot dog, I get excited about a hot dog with the mustard and all that kind of stuff. But that's food. When it comes to why did I choose that to make art with?
Yeah.
The very first hot dog I ever drew was I was an animation student, but I was a single mom of 3 kids. I was in my 30s, so I was a non-traditional student going back to school studying animation, and we had to take a 3D class, like modeling 3D with all these polygons, and it was math, and I was full time, so I was working full-time mom, going to school full time, and this idea of learning this technology was so overwhelming. I thought, okay, what can I make that is a simple shape and I could dress it up and make it fun. And I just landed on a hot dog. It's just a tube, right? And so I was like, I'll make a magic hot dog. I'll give it a little time, and it was so hard to make. It was all polygon. It was math, right? So I had to like still model this, and then the whole rounded top and this hot dog. I did eventually get it modeled out and moving. And it basically just said, "I'm delicious." And then like made this glowing ball, right? And it just kind of stalked across this like surface of a planet because I didn't know how to model anything else, just spheres, right? But the thing that I liked about that is because I so easily can like lose my motivation to continue a project or continue an idea. And a lot of that can be, for me, is like fear, writer's block, not writer's block, but that creative block, just the fear of like, just the fear of putting down the pencil, making the first line. And then sometimes that fear comes back at like the 100th line, that you're making. And there's something about not taking myself so seriously when I'm drawing hot dogs that keeps, that breaks, for me, it breaks through, it gets me over that creative hump. And so, so over the years, I have just always gone to the hot dog, like or that shape when I'm, feeling stressed out or something, and I want to just kind of get my hands moving and get a little creative. I just start drawing that shape, right? Because it's so easy, and then it becomes funny because it's a hot dog, and then you can. So long story short, this has been a really long year. This has been a really hard, long year, and life as I knew it is not the same. There's just so much to unpack and process, and for me personally, there was a lot of fear in this year, a lot of fear. And, I'm trying to work through that. We all have our ways of dealing with that. And to be really honest, there are moments that it got really dark, and I needed a way to express myself that didn't feel scary to me, that, I talked to my friends and we're still sharing the same stories. And I love words. I love reading them and I love saying them, but I hate writing them. I don't like writing. And so every, therapist, everything that you read says to write down your thoughts. And, I tried that, but it is literally like, I already think these thoughts a million times a day, and they're like super fast paced, and they're bothering me and they're making me anxious. But sitting down and writing in a journal is like all those thoughts in slow motion. I just hate that slow motion. And
don't you feel like sometimes you can't capture the words because there's like zip and they're right through your head. And like, okay, I got the beginning of that and I can't get the rest of it down on paper. Yes. And then there's that thing where it's like you get part of it, but you can't get all of it. And so in the process of getting this part to meet with this part, the frustration in between that for me is overwhelming. I don't like that. Some people can work through that and they find a lot of treasures there. I don't. I find a lot more frustrations and anxiety. And so I had to figure out how I was going to like get what was inside of me out. I still haven't figured that out. Nobody's going to look at the hot dogs and think those are her therapy dogs. Obviously.
her trauma dogs, right? And that's what they are. Like I go up there. And so I had an idea for an entirely different show, different body of work. I'd done a bunch of small drawings of these figures without heads several years ago. It was another time in my life where I really was trying to figure out how to express what I was going through, finding out I was neurodivergent and I have CPTSD. And so trying to figure out a way to communicate all that. Faces and hands are too overwhelming, too expressive. There's too much going on in the human body. And so I wanted to go revisit that body of work and make them life-size paintings. And so I went out into my shed and I sat there and I was like, oh no, I have that creative block. I've already actually created these images, but to prepare, to plan, to make them bigger in a whole big body, I just got stuck. And so I started drawing the hot dog shape. And then I was like, you know what? And I started asking myself questions about what made, just when was there a time in my life that I felt really excited about something safe? What makes me feel all those questions that most of the time are really hard to answer. But I had a Hulk Hogan action figure standing there. And I was like, I really liked WWF when Hulk Hogan was a wrestler. And I liked Andre the Giant. And I liked Roddy Piper. And I love those colors and I love those costumes. Yes. And then I started So I started grabbing my pens and my markers, and I started just telling myself, like, just make some psychedelic looking hot dogs, make some bright poppy hot dogs, like just make the shape, color them, put little faces on them. And then it started just to morph into this thing. And so what I thought I was going to go paint this big body of work turned into, why don't I just think all my thoughts while I'm drawing these hot dogs that make me happy?
I love that so much. And everybody watching right now is like, show me the hot dogs. So let's show them some hot dogs, because I think they're brilliant. And there they are, all of those beautiful colors. Look at that. Roddy Piper, and I see Bernie Sanders, and I see Dolly Parton in there. And
Ripley and the Power Loader.
So are these all, when you start making them, are these all just images? These are things that make you feel good. These are safe places. These are like, yes. Who's that?
That's Garth Brooks making the baddies mad at the inauguration.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, most of these are inspired. So there's Rowdy, right? And then that's also him playing that character, John Nada, and They Live, right? And so all these characters, and there's Bernie at the inauguration.
With his mittens. I just love them so much.
Bob Ross.
Breathtaking. And all of these are, so you've taken these drawings, and the originals, some of these originals will be at the depot.
Yes.
But you've also turned them into stickers.
Yes, I've got stickers. Yeah, because at first I see that wall there with all those hot dogs and giant hot dogs. And so those hot dogs are like, they're huge. And there are these jellyfish that have little.
Oh, we have to pause on this one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry, because I remember this one. You do custom hot dogs too.
I have started doing custom hot dogs too. So you can find me on Instagram. And so that's what most people are doing, is finding me on Instagram. And then, I do charge for the custom hot dogs, because I mean,
sure, of course.
Because there's a never-ending supply of ideas for hot dogs. Everything is funny as a hot dog. And so
this is a hot dog?
That's Mark Chagall's Rabbi. I don't know how to say it. Vitsk. I don't know how to say that, but it's I think you can just say Mark Chagall's Rabbi. It's a kosher dog. So somebody online asked me if I would do this one.
Oh, that's beautiful. This is a custom order. All right. So please go ahead and continue rolling. And you were saying how you made it to stickers.
Yes. Yeah. So I had started the whole world. So that Dolly Parton right there on the banana is a sticker.
Oh my God, I need that one.
Yeah. So there's this whole wall here of all these other hot dog bits and pieces that are giant. And that was the world that I started creating. And then I started creating these like celebrity dogs that were going to populate my world. And then, there's just enough attention, and they are, so do you remember Garbage Pail Kids? Like when okay. So there was something very like exciting about those collections you had when you were a kid, like Pokemon cards or your Garbage Pail Kids. And so when I started making these, I started cutting, they're made out of paper. I started cutting out, and I was like, what if you can have these like as trading cards? And then, but stickers is just much more feasible. It's just a lot easier to make them as stickers, and they're pretty small. I mean, they're not like, and I really like tiny things, and tiny things make me really, especially when they're like, weirdly proportionate, like not weirdly proportionate, but they seem like they would be accurately proportional to it. There's a lot of like insane glee, just giddiness
on tiny things.
Like, look at him, look at Rowdy, he's so cute, and as a sticker,
so cute.
So
they're just joyous. They are. They're fun. They're happy. They make me giggle and smile. They're familiar, like you said. They're very familiar. And somehow you've managed on a hot dog just to capture the character of all of the characters that you've done. I think that's the most spectacular thing for me, is that it's not necessarily an imitation. It's literally them as hot dog. And I appreciate that so much.
I'm surprised too, actually. I mean, because like I said, I don't like drawing faces and hands and figures very much at all. And so I had started making these hot dogs with very simple eyes and mouths. Like you can see kind of in the little smokies on the background there of Dolly. They started out as just kind of like these round eyes and mouths. And when I started making the celebrity dogs, it started with Hulk Hogan, just to see what it would look like. And really, truly, it's because I really liked the colors. I wanted to see certain colors together. And so that's what would inspire like a different hot dog or a different character. And so, like I said, the WWF characters is I really love the colors and the pageantry of that when I was a kid, and like how that made me feel. And in this year, and being stuck at home in this,
Yeah.
I just wanted to create my own world that made me a little bit like every time I'd go to my shed now, those colors are out there. As soon as I open my shed, it's just those colors. And that's the first thing I see. And those colors just do that for me. I don't even have to draw that hot dog shape anymore. Those colors do it for me.
And who would have known that pink would have worked so well as a neutral in all of those? Because it just seems to work so well, which is amazing to me.
Yeah. And everybody's a hot dog. You can make anybody a hot dog and not worry about, you can just capture their essence.
I am going to commission you to make me a hot dog because I need to be a hot dog. And I hope
I've already thought about this.
Thanks for being here. Thank you for telling us all about your hot dogs. I can't wait for everybody to come see them. Everybody, please come see Galadriel's hot dogs, along with all of the other wonderful, weird, delightful things that we're going to have at the Depot in March and April. And we'll see you very soon. Thanks, Galadriel.
Thanks, Sherry.
All right. Stick around
Bye, guys.
for Depot TV. Bye, guys.
Hi, guys. It's me, Sherry. And guess what this is? It's a commercial. Actually, it's a commercial for commercials. We have time on Depot TV and space, and we need some partners to help support Depot TV and keep it going. But you know what we got? We got this platform and audiences every week. And if you sell a thing or provide a service or just want to support us and say thanks, or if you have a shout out or something you want people to know about, you could become a partner in the Depot and have some commercial time of your very own. So give us a call at 405-307-9320 or email us at office@normandepot.org and find out how this commercial space could be your commercial space. Thanks.
This is a song from my first album. It's called Wrong Side of the Night. Say my name for future reference. I need a memory to regret. As I walk out the door to find what can't be found, you know I'll always let you down. This road is paved with good intentions. Well, I intended all the while to be the man who walked beside you through the night. So I bend toward the light. These tears come running down when I think of all the ones I left behind. These walls come crumbling down when I give the wrong up for the right. I've been living for the wrong side of the night. See, I got kids back home that miss me, if they remember me at all. I got a boy who wants to be just like his pa. Son, that ain't too much at all. This road is paved with second chances, and my heart ages by the mile, till that horizon lies just beyond my sight. So I bend toward the light. These tears come running down when I think of all the ones I left behind. These walls come crumbling down when I give the wrong up for the right. I've been living for the wrong side of the night. These tears come running down when I think of all the ones I left behind. These walls come crumbling down when I give the wrong up for the right. I've been living for the wrong side of the night. So I bend toward the light. So I bend toward the light. Bend toward the light. This is a brand new song of mine. It's called Mountain Valley Road. Some men love the feeling of the power. Some men love beating on the chest. Some men love getting paid by the hour. Some men love the things they possess. Some men live counting down the hours. Some men live counting every cost. Some men live for a lamb to devour. Some men live for never getting lost. We live for the high, we live for the low. We live for the ride, wherever it may go. Some men live for the end of the rainbow. We live for the mountain, for the valley and the road. Well, don't you live without chasing the sunset. Don't you live without shattering the glass. Don't you live any days with a regret. Don't you live your days in the past. We live for the high, we live for the low. We live for the ride, wherever it may go. Some men live for the end of the rainbow. We live for the mountain, for the valley and the road. We live for the mountain, for the valley and the road. We are hardened by the tempest, marching safely through the storm, hand in hand with my sister. We shall overcome. 'Cause we are hardened by the tempest, marching safely through the storm, hand in hand with my brother. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We live for the high, we live for the low. We live for the ride, wherever it may go. Some men live for the end of the rainbow. mountain, for the valley and the road. Live for the mountain, for the valley and the road.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ken Hayden. It's good to be with you. The poem I'm going to read is from my 2015 collection, Persimmon Sunday, and the poem is titled Rodents and Songbirds. I wrote this poem back in 2014 in February when it was bitter cold, down to almost zero, and we had 5 or 6 inches of snow at that time. Not unlike the weather we've been having here in mid-February in 21. Of rodents and songbirds. Winter takes over. White snow covers yellow grass, the color of chicken broth served in a pea green bowl inside walls where fear and contentment hold truce in mutual respect of death. The beauty of a snowy morning mixed with the dread of zero temperatures sways at the mercy of fragile electricity. How close we are to rodents and songbirds cloistered in knots of scattered brush, ice drops frozen in place, crusty snow covering hidden layers, tiny hearts beating at fever pace just to survive. Something unseen, something rarely considered. Radio reports the death of Nelson Mandela. Too quickly recounts his life, his incarceration, quotes his call for forgiveness. Here on the frigid white southern plains, the news seems foreign and faded, like a bent photograph found in a shoebox tucked away in a closet, an aging, displaced postcard from the other side of the world. Candle flame flickers. I look out windows across white pasture, feel winter in my bones, and see the death only beauty forgives.
All right, everybody, that's our wrap for tonight's Depot TV. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you to all of those fabulous sponsors that you could see in our credits and our commercials. And thank you to Jared Deck, Ken Hayda, Michael Kreider, Galadriel Thompson for being here. Join us next week when we will have some stories from Terry Ware, some more artist interviews, and some great music, and who knows what else. You'll just have to tune in and find out. We'll see you next week on Depot TV. Bye.
Daddy made munitions, they used to win the war. Daddy gave his left hand to an Auric floor.